Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout. This week we are down here at Sydney Motorsport Park. We are doing a wet skid pan, not by choice. The skies have opened. That being said, it was a wet event anyway, so it is what it is. But bringing the Falcon, or my Falcon, out for a bit of a shakedown. It is mid-build, admittedly, so not everything is done that I wanted to get done at this point. But we were already committed to come out to this event anyway, so yeah, I've got my Falcon, which is probably off camera, just sitting there. Believe me, it's there. And then I've got Gian's lovely example of a Falcon just chilling here with me. It should be a pretty good event. There's actually quite a lot of Falcons, so it's cool to see. I've got to be real, it's the budget car these days. Funny story, I was at sign-on and I told this guy who was up there doing the sign-on that I bought a Falcon because my Lexus is still in bits. And he goes, "Oh, do you want another one?" And I'm like, tell me more. And he's like, "Oh, the engine's hydraulically locked because it's gone through a deep puddle. And by deep puddle, it's turned the air filter into a waffle." So I did a deal and now I own 2 Falcons. Oh, it's manual. I forgot to mention that. So the reason I bought it is because it's manual. So now we have a sum of 3 Falcons. So I feel like at this point we may as well just keep buying Falcons. It's now just going to become Benny's Falcon Works. Maybe I will be the wizard of falconry. But yeah, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with it. I might just literally fix it and sell it. But I feel like that'll be a disservice to old mate because he did me a pretty solid deal on it as well. So who knows? I'm not going to go through a 3rd build series of a Falcon because we've already reinvented the wheel once. So I feel like you guys will literally just mass unsubscribe if I do that. But in saying that, Adam, who owns the blue S13, which by the way is no longer blue, it's now grey, he's been tossing up buying a seat time car as well because we're all at the point where we're old and we don't actually want to spend $2 grand on a weekend going drifting. It's much more fun to spend 180 bucks, come out here, run the car on the wet pan, have a bit of fun, rub some panels, and then do that 10 to 12 times a year because these events are literally on once a month. And Driving Sports are running this particular event, but there's 4 or 5 different drift clubs in New South Wales that run different events on the wet pan, as well as the figure 8 and South Circuit and North Circuit and the GP circuit. So while the Falcons probably aren't quite up to any of the big track stuff, yeah, there's plenty of opportunity to come out and do the pans here. So yeah, having a bit of a seat time car as opposed to something like that, which you probably saw in the background. If not, you may have heard it. Something with an LS and big consumption of fuel and tyres is definitely a factor for me. While I love the Lexus, we'll still keep running that car as well. I feel like I get just as much enjoyment coming out banging doors, being a bit of a dick with Gian, having fun, maybe even more so sometimes because there's the stress of running. And my car's by no means a pro car, but it is more cost heavy. You literally, every session you go out, every 20 minutes on the track is a set of tyres and half a tank of fuel. So literally, even to come out here and do like a North Circuit or a GP circuit, like you're easily $1,000 for a night. And it's just, I'm not a pro driver, I'm not a sponsored driver at that level. So like those costs just add up, and I almost enjoy building cars more than driving them sometimes in that regard. But yeah, I'm pretty keen to just have a bit of fun in the budget Falcon slappers. And yeah, hopefully I can drag some more of you guys along, and then all of a sudden this event will be full of Falcons because there's a few. Mine, Gian's, there's another fellow with a BF, there's an EL, I think it's an EL. Hopefully there's an AU or 2 because AU is a king. Lots of Falcons and skids ahoy. There's another noisy drift car in the background. What is it? Oh, it's a Cressy, get in. Oh, that's got a 1J in it. Yeah. Actually, I know that guy. He bought parts off me, Mad Dog. Pretty sure he bought the guard mirrors off me actually. Anyway, let's go and do some skids.
The one on track.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sad times. Do you know how expensive those floodlights are?
Oh, no.
And I'm even more sad because that was the new one.
Oh, today.
I didn't put them in, but I was planning to sell them. Oh, disappointing. No more foglight. So yeah, the speaker that we thought was a speaker actually turned out to be my foglight.
Oh, damn.
I did wonder why there was a speaker on the track.
You even told me you hit it.
Yeah, you told me you hit it. Are you enjoying your Falcon experience?
Yeah.
I'm also enjoying my Falcon experience.
Yeah, well that's the closest I've ever been in proximity to someone, so yeah, it's a lot of
sick.
fun.
And you didn't door me, so thanks for that.
No, it's alright. I mean, we still got a few laps left. So.
I know, like I've done 2 sessions now and I'm pretty surprised how capable this car is. Like, I built your car based off feedback from you. Like, I never actually drove it, so I didn't know what it was going to do, what the lock mods were actually going to achieve. But it's actually a pretty capable thing off the bat. But yeah, I definitely think needs some more lock, and those shocks are just absolutely clapped. So definitely need something in that regard as well. But yeah, how's your thing going?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's always good to see
My fog lights haven't fallen out.
Is that because I don't? Yeah.
My fog light gone.
Yes,
oh, I'm sad about that.
Yeah.
That's a sad time.
No, I think you're doing really well though with the amount of you don't have any
with
lock.
the minimal amount of lock that
exactly,
I have.
Yeah. Because I remember I was just doing pirouettes.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing well.
Yeah, pretty stoked with it. Like I've worked out a line and how to kind of do it all.
Yeah.
And it's driving pretty well. Like I feel like I don't have to work as hard driving this compared to the Lexus. I don't know if it's longer wheelbase, wider track. I mean, the Lexus has way more power, and to be fair, if I took it now on the wet pan, the thing would be like pretty easy to drive now. But going back to when it was like 140, 150 kilowatts, this is much easier to drive.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I feel like I'm having more fun in this. And actually having James in the passenger seat on the last run, it made the balance of the car nicer. As dumb as that sound, it felt easier to drive with a passenger.
Yeah, cool.
So maybe there's like less coils cut off the passenger side or something, I don't know.
All right, cool.
But no, I'm stoked. Like, it's been awesome. There's actually so many Falcons out here too. It's cool to see other people. Zero Commodores, interestingly. So Falcon seems to be the weapon of choice for a budget drifter. There's like, what, 5 or 6 Falcons? I think there's four B series. One of them literally just left on a trailer. I think it's broken. And then there was a guy in an EL as well, like EL Sapphire, which is super clean actually, like really neat car. So he was cruising around, he was pitted over there before, but no, it's cool to see people out having a bash, and yeah, good to see the Falcons are out repping. So yeah, we'll keep bashing, figuratively, not physically, hopefully. Yes. Stay out of my doors.
Falconry for the win.
Get into it. And got to drive it home.
Yeah. Colour matched.
Good day.
Yes, good day.
Literally a good day.
Yeah, great day.
Man, that last run, which hopefully we've got some footage of.
We have a tiny bit.
Oh yeah, sick.
Tiny bit.
Future people, when we're watching this, hopefully there's footage of the last run because it was nuts. We actually did get pretty good proximity, like less than a car length between us at one point.
I was threatening to door him this whole time, and here I am thinking he's going to door me.
Sneaking up behind you.
Nah, it's so fun.
That was, man, I am literally still on a high. Like, I'm so impressed with that car. Even having the standard lock, that is definitely its Achilles heel. But I can't believe what I was able to do with that car in such standard form. Like, I could definitely tell, and every time I had a passenger, they straight away could tell your car had more lock.
Yeah,
by what you were able to do versus what we were taking a much shallower line, but then we were also having more mid-corner speed because we're taking a shorter line.
Yeah.
Whereas you're way out there.
Yeah.
And it was sick to be able to kind of jostle and move around, and considering how badly set up that is at the moment, with like zero suspension in it, I can't wait to get the shockworks in it, get some lock in it. And the one massive oversight on my part, that still has who knows what fluids in it. We haven't done oil and filter. We haven't done coolant. Haven't done gearbox. The only fluid we've actually changed is the rear diff. So, and the brake fluid. So yeah, it definitely needs a birthday. We didn't actually do the clutch fluid the other day when I threatened to do it because we kind of ran short on time because the brake lines actually took way longer than I thought. But yeah, super buzzed. Really keen to come back out here. I know you guys don't enjoy track day videos, but I enjoy doing track days. So sorry, not sorry. But yeah, appreciate anyone who's stuck around and watched this series to this point because it was kind of a mid-series shakedown. I was hoping we'd have the car more finished by now, but time constraints, parts availability, all that sort of deals kind of pushed the build out a little bit more. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing because it does help us out. We're really continually hovering around that 112,000 sub mark, so if we could pump that number up, that'd be sick. Yeah, thanks everyone supporting the channel. Thanks to everyone who bought a Falcon and drifted it because that seems to be the hot sauce. Thanks to everyone tonight who was out here running their car. Thanks to Driving Sports for putting on a cracking event. Flawlessly run as usual. So yeah, super keen to come back out again and do more of that because I really feel like literally that 2 hours mucking around with you, I developed my driving skills in that amount of time. So I'm really like super pumped to come back and have another go. And yeah, admittedly we are going to come back with a little bit of a different car, but hopefully that'll make it better and more equally matched, having the same suspension, the same or a similar amount of lock, and a few other things, little issues will be fixed with the car as well, like the front bar falling off. I'll pull the other fog light out so I don't smash that one to pieces as well. But yeah, super stoked. Thank you. I had fun. And just like that, we're magically back at the workshop. It was actually a pretty short episode, so we're going to jump in and fix a few little dramas on Gian's Falcon because we do have an up-and-coming wet track day at Pheasant Wood with Revolution. Is it Revolution Racing?
Revolution Motorsport.
Revolution Motorsport. Sorry about that. So Gian's going. I don't know if I'm going to go yet because I have this crossroads in my life where I've got multiple hobbies and now they're actually clashing with each other. So I'm yet to see if that gets locked in, but A, there may be an episode, B, I may be in it, and C, I may be driving my Falcon and Gian may be driving his Falcon, but who knows if any of that's going to happen yet. But this has a gnarly exhaust leak. It already was a bit noisy, but it's definitely got worse since the last wet pan day. Interestingly, I have had a quick look under or from under, and it already has a metal exhaust gasket on it. So gonna have to do a little bit more research. Might have to just chuck it up and have it running and look for the exhaust leak instead of just it being blindingly obvious, because I was really hoping for just it being loose at the bottom of the exhaust manifold or something like that. So yeah, hopefully it's not the piece that joins the two halves of the manifold together, because I don't know how to fix that. But we'll fire it up, find the leak, and at least have an answer, and then you guys can be not concerned, because at the moment I know you're really concerned about it. So we'll fire it up, lift it up and have a look. It does sound very in the middle of the car, like middle of the engine bay. Yeah, I reckon we just start pulling stuff apart, eh? Speaking of handy, a new ratchet. I don't know if you're supposed to do that with it though. It has absolutely zero torque, so it's only good for like pulling apart and reassembling.
Yeah.
Oh good, another different size bolt, mad. Yeah, just if there's loose exhaust manifold bolts, it means the gasket's probably blown out.
Okay. Ah, righto.
That's good.
Yep, good signs.
Oh, that one didn't hit the floor. Now what I want you to do is block the exhaust with a rag.
Okay.
Just for like 2 seconds at a time, hold it over the tip and then let it go.
Okay.
So if you stay longer than that, it'll like try and kill
It'll
itself.
hate it. Yeah, righto. Yep, it's on.
Up.
Off.
It's not a big job to change that gasket anyway, so I think we'll just do it.
Did I mention to you that I tried to slaz some of the exhaust on to get that muffler on? I don't know if it's anything to do with that.
Well, I mean, I saw where you put the slaz,
Okay.
but the noise definitely sounds like it's a lot more toward the front of the car than that.
Rightio.
It's just weird because I really thought there would have been more staining.
In my mind, I was like, oh, I hope it's just like this and you can just re-slaz it or something.
Actually feels like it's the right size. I don't believe it.
You got one.
Well, that means they're the wrong nuts or they've been changed. Because as far as I know, there's no 14 mils at all on a Ford.
I see.
I mean, I may be wrong. Where's the Ford wizard at?
I thought I was looking at him.
That might be our leak.
Was it not tight?
It's pretty loose.
Oh, crap.
Coming at you. When I tighten them, I'll put a washer between the, like just to try and pack it up. Because I think the problem is that those bolts have seized. Sorry, those nuts have seized to the studs. And they're probably not quite tight enough.
I see. They're tightening on their own seizedness.
So it bottoms out on the shoulder, but then it doesn't actually tighten the nut any further.
Okay.
I think is the problem.
Okay.
But I think I'll also just do the manifold gasket while we're here because it's not that big of a job, really.
All right. Thank you.
It's all right. Stupid Falcons. Oh, and we got to back your handbrake cable off because it's just constantly grinding in reverse.
Yeah.
What's that
I
about?
was wondering what that noise was.
Heaps good, eh?
Yeah. Sounded,
Did you try and tighten the handbrake cable without my knowing?
Oh, I have absolutely reefed that bolt as much as I possibly can, and it's still the handbrake won't grab. So
Well,
yeah,
it won't grab because you've adjusted it at the wrong spot.
yeah, I should have
You're
mentioned.
supposed to adjust it at the hub.
Yeah,
Just
right.
cranking the handbrake cable down doesn't actually fix the problem.
Okay. There you go, past Gian. If only you watched this video first.
Yeah, that'd be challenging. Now, this isn't actually part of the job, but being that you don't have a power steering pump anymore, I'm just going to take this bracket off.
Cool. Just weight saving if we take it off too.
Yeah, super Leggero. I don't hate this.
As in the car or
No, the tool.
the tool? Yeah, it looks handy. No pun intended.
The torque limiting is definitely annoying, but I mean, I get what it's used for.
Those small tight spaces, I assume.
Well, it's more just for stripping and assembling stuff. It's not designed for breaking something free, and it's just designed for tightening something to spec.
Yeah.
It's just a quick whizzer. Did you deliberately just leave it running so I could deal with the heat?
I mean, time got away.
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
thought I'd start it up.
Evidently.
And time got away. I thought it'd help with the loosening of the bolts.
Hasn't helped with the turning my hand into fire. There we go. Oh, I wonder if it's just come loose, like the manifold halves. It's definitely loose, the middle bit.
Right, I see.
Oh,
no way.
That just went down the exhaust.
Bruh.
There's definitely something going on there. So that gasket's not blown out at all.
Okay.
It wasn't leaking. Annoyance. Do I get money back on my budget when I fix your car?
I didn't even ask how much you're going to charge me for this gasket.
$1 million. Well, every 10-minute job is a 2-hour job when you got to fish a bolt out of an exhaust, isn't it?
Oh gosh.
I don't know how strong the magnet will be.
Yeah.
Like if it's even strong enough to get it.
What are the odds that it would fall directly down that?
Pretty high. Oh yeah, they are. Oh, they are.
Tiny bit.
Oh good, that one's gone too now. Like do these ones.
Yeah, and then
get
get
it.
it with
Like
that.
the twofer.
Yeah. This is some exhilarating viewing. You reckon it's the same tool that some surgeons would use?
It's not dissimilar. New setup.
Smart.
Yes.
Hey, great success.
Gonna
You
leak.
obviously didn't loosen that middle part.
No, but I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be either. Like, because it is a slip joint, so is that how it's supposed to be? I think what I want to do is loosen those off, and then when it gets back in the car, once it's tightened up, I'll tighten them. But I kind of want to separate it and see if there's something funky going on. I'm just going to retighten them once it's in the car because I don't think there's actually any leak or anything there.
Okay. What's the reasoning for tightening them when it's on the car?
Because then they're all clocked in the right spot, like it's bolted on as an assembly. Like, you know how I always say don't tighten shit unless
Yes,
it's
right.
lined up.
Yeah. I'm assuming these studs that you just put in there to help locate it?
They are to hold the gasket. So normally I would like to put studs in, but because it's this car and I don't have any, we'll just use these to locate the gasket. Then once we get the gasket on, because it's just a mission, especially if you're doing this yourself with no extra set of hands, trying to get the gasket located and get the manifold in, and being the NA1, the manifold's all floppy. So get that in there and located. We'll get like 3 or 4 bolts in. Then we'll pull the studs out, then we'll just put all the bolts in. For anyone wondering, I do have enough of those, but they're actually too short in the stock cast manifold, so yeah, they're no good. I'm just going to put anti-seize on them all, just to help with the bolts winding back into the head.
Will that help with determining the torque level of the bolts?
So interestingly, if you use anti-seize on a bolt and then torque it using a torque wrench, you'll get an incorrect torque setting.
Right.
Or sometimes you'll find manufacturers like ARP who supply their own lubricant will give you a torque setting dry or with their lubricant.
Oh, okay.
And don't forget to leave the bolts out for the heat shield too.
Is that actually the reasoning for the split in the middle, is so you can actually clock them all, like so they actually make a good seal?
No, well, possibly, but I thought it would have been so the manifold could walk around. Like, so if it expands, it doesn't try and crack.
Ah, makes sense. Is this a common design or sort of more Ford thing?
No, pretty common on 6-cylinder stuff or long manifolds.
Yeah. What are the advantages of going to the steel gasket? Is it steel? No.
Yeah, just the composite. It's still steel, but it's like composite with like this kind of sandwich stuff.
Okay.
And they just blow out. They don't really seem to just survive long term. And they're just not that good a quality.
So which one's not the good quality one?
The composite one.
Which is what comes with it factory.
I believe the non-turbo ones have it factory.
Righto.
So someone's already been in here. So what I'm going to do is put these in, because these are where the heat shield goes. And I'll put them all in and then tighten it.
Yep.
And then we'll take the heat shield ones back out.
Okay.
Because I don't want these bolts to not go in, obviously, once the manifold's tightened down. But some of the heat shield bolts are common to the manifold.
Yeah, I see.
And yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, it's probably not the greatest design. Considering they already had tabs down there, they could have just put tabs on the top too, you know, like,
right.
Just seems a bit odd, but there's obviously, would have been probably a cost saving measure. They had to make a heat shield anyway, and then it meant that they don't have to put as many bolts in it or something.
Okay. It actually helped me being able to hear myself, because normally what happens when somebody comes up to my door is I can't actually hear my own RPM. I then end up spinning out because
you don't know what
can't tell
your
if
engine's
I'm
doing.
at like 2 grand or 10,000 grand. You know?
Yeah, 10,000 grand, that's a lot of grands.
Yeah. What's 10,000 grand? Like, you reckon like $1 million?
That'd be $1 million, isn't it?
Or is it $1 billion? Yeah, I don't know.
Ting. You could hear the torque wrench just coming up then.
Yeah.
So we start in the middle. And for anyone wondering, yes, that's the middle because it's 2 3-cylinder logs. It's not a 6-cylinder manifold per se because it's got that expansion joint in it. And then I'll just do one bolt on each runner and go back to that other runner. because these are multi-layer too, you'll get that gasket crush, so it will take a fair bit to tighten it. Just gotta whizzer those out now. So if they're not clamping properly, it means I can put a washer to give a bit more clamping force. If you lift that front,
Yep.
so at least now I can maneuver stuff straight away. Well, seeing as the gear, I may as well do the handbrake cable now.
Whoa. Sorry.
Ah!
Ah?
Well, it's just if you've broken the handbrake cable. Yeah, that's why it's not locking.
So is one side broken?
Yeah, the left side's munted.
Oh, I see it now.
Well, you'll be happy to know that it's really easy to change that handbrake cable.
Oh, I am happy to know.
It's not.
Ah, screw. God damn it.
I see why your handbrake's having a conniption, because you got one side tight as buggery and the other one's just come out. So it's basically just running on that. Yeah, because it's just blowing the end off the cable. That driver's side one's just popping all the side times.
That's definitely what it feels like.
I'm just going to back it right off, and then you just got to put it in first.
Okay.
You have no handbrake. Well, I mean, you really had no handbrake before.
Yeah.
I reckon we can make it so you've only got to change one.
Okay.
Clear prop.
Hey. Oh. No.
This is a good chance to talk about those gaskets, because that's a composite gasket.
Well, at least I fixed one leak.
Sorry?
At least that fixed one leak.
Yeah, we got the front one done.
But now discovered that there's a second leak from...
Well, sometimes you can't tell when you've got that noise.
Yeah.
It's like they kind of cancel each other out and you go, yeah, there's an exhaust leak.
Yeah. And evidently it was... Well,
I think it was actually the ball that was leaking up the front, not the gasket.
Yeah. Okay.
Like where the downpipe goes to the cat, that ball joint, I think that's where it was leaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just give this one I reckon we'll just take the bolts out and sand that flange. Oh look, half a gasket.
Oh no,
Ratchet
not the new
out.
tool.
It just needs a little bit more torque, hey. Like it just doesn't want to cop that bolt at all. I don't know why it's got bell housing bolts on the exhaust either, just quietly. They're definitely...
Oh my God. Look at all the water that just dripped out
Oh,
of
that's
that.
standard, bro.
Oh, okay.
How much do you trust me?
A lot?
Gonna hold this over here while I angle grind near your hand there.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, the brake cleaner. Just bought another 20 litres this morning.
That's funny how quick you go through that.
Bit gone by lunchtime.
Would you think the sliders to actually last longer than those gaskets?
Yeah, probably. I mean, this isn't actually the right sealant either, but it's what I got, so.
Is that because not high temperature? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's far enough back and it's non-turbo, so it should be fine. Like they're the bottom bolts out of the bell housing that go into the sump.
How do you know these things?
Doing stuff forever.
Yeah. Do you have to let that set at all? Or...
Supposed to.
Okay.
Clipper up.
Much better.
Huh?
Much better.
It's all fixed now.
Now,
Two exhaust leaks.
Next time you creep up on my door and I can't hear my RPM and
You'll hear
spin.
mine though. What? I actually don't hate the sound of my one.
Yeah, I think it's like the good happy medium between not being too offensively loud and being able
Having
to
a bit
actually...
of a note.
Yeah,
I can't believe how clean this is underneath.
considering its life.
Yeah, like it's actually, like it's had a hard life, but it's actually quite a low-K car. Like it's only got 160-something thousand Ks on it.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, well, I believe it. It probably was some old Nono's car
Yeah.
before Skids McGee got it and put the T5 in it.
Yeah, looking at the colour of that, I'm happy we're changing the oil.
Yeah, I need to do mine too because I didn't even check the oil level before we went to the wet pan. I was like, what could possibly go wrong? Geez, I really rolled the dice on that one, didn't I? I just didn't really think about it. And then I was like,
What are you thinking about it?
I was on the way to the skid pan. I'm like, I don't even have oil to check the level.
Oh, man.
And you'd already left. So I was like, I can't even hit you up to get some oil, like bring oil with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I got an oil filter.
Oh, true.
Because the Z9, not a 516 like every other Falcon in our fleet. Nailed it.
This poor car, though, it just sits forever and then gets literally started up every track day. And just
They'd love
run
it,
the
though.
tits off of it.
They'd love it. Falcon life.
Is that confidential oil any confidential
Coming out
anymore?
soon.
Ah, so it is still confidential.
Yeah, hasn't come out yet. It's been released, but we can't get it yet. Restore and Protect, yeah. So it's the new Valvoline's new oil that's designed to clean carbon deposits out of engines. It's pretty cool, yeah. So hopefully we get some soon when it launches. They've released the branding and stuff, but it's not available as yet.
Fact or fiction that doing a big skid in your car will also clean carbon deposits?
Sounds fictiony to me.
Why is it important to clear out the carbon deposits?
It can actually make it burn a lot more oil if you've got carbon around the rings. Like if the oil control ring's not really controlling the oil, it will burn a lot more oil.
Right.
So you can get carbon build up around rings for a few different reasons. Not changing the oil regularly, using the wrong grade of oil, ironically not driving your car hard, like just putting around. Daihatsu mirrors are probably the best example of this actually. The L700 era, well Seor it's called in Australia, but that EJ engine suffers really bad ring carboning issues. I don't know if it's a design fault or inherently a lot of the owners of those cars just literally putt them around town. But yeah, they always seem to have oil control ring issues and they always have lots of excessive oil burning. Got to check that power steer with it running too.
So to check the power steering level,
Yeah, you
should
want it
actually
running.
have it running.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because otherwise it won't be pulling. Yeah, because you want it to be on the stick with the operational level. Yeah, it's at about the right level now.
It's good. Sweet.
So
Amazing.
quiet now.
Yeah. Thank you, Benny. She's good to go for the track day then.
More squids. We've conquered a few little issues on this thing again. 2 exhaust leaks. I didn't realise how bad that mid-pipe one was. I think predominantly we probably didn't actually have to pull the exhaust manifold off, and it was the studs were loose in that cone or ball type fitting on the bottom of the exhaust manifold. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to change that exhaust gasket every now and then anyway. Someone had already been in there and done it, so whatever. But my Falcon also has an exhaust leak, so I'll probably just fix that and won't put you guys through the pain of watching a second exhaust manifold gasket get changed. That being said, the Falcons are actually running really well. I'm so stoked with my one. You've probably already heard me rambling at this point how good it is in the first half of the episode, but yeah, I'm genuinely surprised just how capable those cars are for minimal spend. At some point, we're also going to realise that my $7,500 budget is going to blow out. So I think we'll draw the line at some point as to where we're going to stop calling it a budget car. And that's reality ringing me now. I missed it. You guys, anyone that's built a project car knows you end up with this scope creep, and buying the cheapest car isn't always the best. It's really good for your YouTube views and whatever. You can say you bought the cheapest, bestest, fastest, whatever, but the reality is cheap cars generally need more work. And my thing actually needs a lot of suspension work, bushes, brackets. So I have started to order some of those bits to amend all the issues that are under it. That being said, still drove really well. So if you're probably not that fussed about that sort of stuff,
you'd probably get away with it on a wet pan, but I don't know. The mechanic in me is just like, you need to fix all these problems. Like the trans mount's basically non-existent. The engine mounts are meh. So we are gonna upgrade those to tough mounts, purely because it's a track-only car. The tough mounts are phenomenal for that sort of setup, but they're probably not the greatest choice for some street cars if you're worried about NVH or rattling or vibrations, because unfortunately any solid or much firmer mount is going to generate more vibration from the engine and drive line into the body. So yeah, it is worth considering that sort of stuff when you do go and buy new mounts and that sort of deal. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Means I'm coming into the left side of your car. Are you filming?